Kushina Uzumaki was the second Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails Beast. However, despite having this title, she was perceived to be pretty weak throughout most of the community for a good amount of years, as including myself, as I believed that at the time. Now, of course, there was a decent reason at the time back then, being a mixture of her lack of fights being shown in the series, as well as her portrayal in the Storm games, as they had her fight with frying pans and cooking utensils. And as years went on, similar to the rest of the community, I began to realize more and more how much the opposite was true. Because of this, today we are going to look back into the story and analyze her feats and statements regarding her, and all to answer the simple question, how strong was she? And additionally, if we had time in the video, we'll also go over the simple question, could she be stronger than Minato? If you guys enjoyed the video, then leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future content. This is your boy Harry, and let's get right into the video. Now, the first thing we should go over are her capabilities regarding sealing. While it is unknown to the full extent to the amount of sealing juices that she has and how strong they should be, one thing we do know is that Kushina taught Minato every single jutsu that she knew. Along with Kushina being considered exceptional amongst the Uzumaki, who are known for the sealing, at a bare minimum her sealing capabilities should be relative to Minato's. For context, Minato as a teen, after getting hit by Kushina, was able to restrict the Nine-Tails in the mental state and allow Kushina to have some control over her own tail-beast state. Furthermore, Kushina is shocked and questions Minato during the Nine-Tails attack on why he wanted to use the Gravy Death Seal, which in itself implies that Minato has sealing capabilities that are strong enough to seal away the entire Nine-Tails. This would mean that Kushina, the one who taught Minato all these abilities, as well as being exceptional among a clan that is known for the sealing jutsus, should be on this caliber as well. And of course, this does not include the Adamantine chains, which were strong enough to subdue the Nine-Tails 4 times in the story. The first 2 times were during the one-shot, where she subdues the entire Nine-Tails with her chains, bringing him to his back, and the second one is a small restriction across his neck, hindering him enough for him to not develop the tail-beast bomb as much, allowing Minato to have a better chance at clashing with it. The third time this happens is during Naruto's altercation with Nine-Tails, where she, while in Kurama's peripheral vision, subdues him before he even reacts. Additionally, she did this with only the sliver of the chakra that Minato has sealed inside of Naruto, meaning that sliver of Kushina's chakra was able to subdue the Nine-Tails, albeit just half of it, for a little bit of time eventually he started pulling the chains off of him. The fourth and final time we see this happen is during the Nine-Tails attack when, again in his peripheral vision, subdues the Nine-Tails completely. This is very impressive as she does this not only after giving birth, but also having the Nine-Tails pulled right out of her, which is really crazy as normally a Jinchuriki should normally die from that. The only person we ever actually see to actually be able to do stuff after having a whole tail beast pulled out of them was Obito. As even Naruto, who albeit did kind of survive Kurama being pulled out of him, was essentially on death's door and was passed out as well. And this Naruto is also technically stronger than Kushina easily, as a much weaker version of him, as considered to have surpassed Kushina and Minato long ago. It should also be mentioned regarding the Adamantine chains that there's an argument that they're able to seduce one's chakra. Now, while there isn't anything in the manga or data books that actually say this, there's a good strong basis for this, and that actually is her just suppressing the Nine-Tails itself. While yes, he's only suppressing his physical movement, the Nine-Tails itself is still pure chakra. Now, depending on how you look at it, you could argue and say that this could technically also mean her suppressing the chakra itself, as again, Kurama is just pure chakra. However, if you don't agree with that, that is fine, because either way, the binding power of the Adamantine chains are so incredibly powerful that even a sliver of Kushina's chakra was able to suppress half the Nine-Tails inside Naruto, and then her at death's door was able to suppress the full Nine-Tails again. Now, outside of binding, the Adamantine chains are able to cause physical damage, with Karen being a prime example as she was able to destroy Guru's statue, with this feat being considered a glimpse of what Kushina is actually capable of. Now, see, this is important as here is in who stood as the strongest Kage of his era, and was the only one who actually had chakra in the alliance during this moment, as well as being technically amped as an Edo, as he's not restricted by his by his old age, couldn't really do anything but stalemate it. And additionally, Karen, depending on how you argue it, you can say that she even outperformed the rest of Team Taka regarding her getting close to Gurugu to begin with, including Orochimaru, that was buffed due to his excessive body. Overall, this does paint a nice clear picture of how powerful her chains are. Now, outside of that, another thing that is also impressive for her is her speed. While we don't have any showcases of her fighting to get any idea of this, we do have one moment during the Nine-Tails attack where she's able to move at a similar speed to Minato to get in front of the Nine-Tails attack on Naruto. Now regarding Minato's speed, it is clear and considered by Toriyama to be relative to his FTG speed, which is fast enough for Kakashi to defuse cases to Naruto, who had just countered the Bleach's tail beast bombs for him. Now while it is true that Naruto has surpassed both his parents at this time, this wouldn't necessarily mean that Minato isn't near that speed. But even if that is the case, his speed will still be above KCM1 just from that alone. Because of this will put Kushina's speed at around his KCM to KCM2 speed range. Now finally, it's time to discuss her capabilities with the Nine-Tails Chakra, specifically the potentiality of her having KCM, or Kurama Chakra mode. Let me explain. Now while it may sound weird at first, there is a strong case of this being possible. The first case of evidence is shown in Minato's conversation with Naruto. During the conversation, Minato mentions that Naruto has to master the Nine-Tails Chakra. We know that Naruto is the only person during this time to be able to achieve this, with Kurama backing this up. Because of this would mean that Minato isn't making this claim because he has seen this power before, but that he has seen at least a basis of what it could potentially be. In other words, while he hasn't actually seen KCM2 before, he would have to see something that's similar to it to give him the idea that if this ability was mastered, that it could beat someone like Obito. Additionally, Obito mentions how KCM Naruto has gained the same ability as Mito, the first Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails, of sensing approaching danger. Now before coming to Jinchuriki, Mito was known for a powerful chakra and sealing, similar to Kushina, but nothing regarding sensing abilities. For this statement to be true, this would mean this sensing ability has to be connected to the KCM form, meaning that Mito would also have had this form as well. This is also important as Mito is implied to have similar control of the Nine-Tails as Kushina did, meaning that this will also apply to her as well. Now that we've finally gone through all of that, it is time to finally answer the question, how strong was she? After everything we went over, she would have sealing capabilities, suppress beings as powerful as the Nine-Tails, and be able to damage people who are at least above the Sannin level tier. If you remember where I'm getting this from, Hiruzen is implied to be either relative to the Sannin to at least above. Even if the live Hiruzen is relative to the Sannin, his Edo form, who is stronger than the live self, should be above the Sannin tier. And again, that Edo Hiruzen was able to stalemate against Gurugu, who Karin was able to pretty much get close to it in which he was able to damage the statue itself. And as this being a glimpse into what Kushina could truly do, which just means that her AP with Adamantine chains will scale off to that. In addition, while not necessarily having any durability feats, she would have a massive pain tolerance and speed, and has speed around the realms of KCM and KC2 levels of speed. In addition to KCM, she is easily in the high Kage level tier. But now comes to the second question, which also being the main question in the thumbnail: is she stronger than Minato? In the overall narrative of the story, it is strongly implied that both of them are relative to some extent. However, while still going either way, in my personal opinion, that doesn't mean that there isn't an answer for this. As shown through the video, she has similar capabilities with sealing and speed similar to him. However, when looking at the speed feat, Kushina is at a further distance when compared to Minato. Because of this, you can argue that she could potentially be a bit faster, although it would be unlikely as Minato is praised to be the fastest of godlike speed. She will also have stronger attacks as Naruto refers to his goal being to become more powerful than his mom while becoming cooler than his dad. Overall, I would say there is a case that she could be stronger, especially since you can argue that this all applies to only her base, meaning that the Kurama Chakra mode should amp all of her feats already. Now, before anyone says anything, there's two things I should establish here. One, considering that she's arguably able to beat someone like Minato, The same thing could be said for Tobirama, as both Minato and Tobirama tend to have an overall similar power scale. And secondly, Minato should just win this battle overall. In a sense, there's no way that you can really argue that Kushina could beat Minato. So that's kind of where she caps there for overall power. But she should at least be able to beat everyone there, anyone at a similar tier that she's at. She should be able to at least have a good fight with them. Either way, that will be it for this video. If you guys like this video, then leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. I'm trying to make more videos as time goes on, and I'll definitely love you guys' support. In addition, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on the video, and what your thoughts on different character scaling. And yeah, that is it. It's your boy Harry signing out. Peace.